Good morning, children. In our last class, we have started a new chapter, The Sound of Music, Part 1. I have told you the summary of the story. Now, today, I'm going to explain you this chapter line wise. Okay, so that it will be very clear to you all. Now let's open the open your note. Let's open your textbook, children. You will read with me. Okay. The sound of music. Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. As I have told you, children, the title itself is very interesting. Here the author says Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. Now we all wonder, we are confused also by reading this line. How can anyone listen to sound when we can't hear? So this is something we will discover, that how Evelyn Glennie was able to listen to sound although she could not hear. Okay. Now, before you read, you must have seen the lines below. God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. Now, what do you mean by these lines? Actually, here the writer says that although God took away her hearing power, she was impaired, but he gave her an extraordinary thing, and that was the sense of feeling. She could feel very deeply, far more deeply than the normal people. And that is why she was able to express music so beautifully. Okay. She is a well-known multi-percussionist. She plays different percussions, means musical instrument. Okay. Like xylophone, drums, piano, etc. Now let's come to the chapter. Rush our crowds, jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight girl, looking younger than her 17 years, was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibration of the approaching train. Now, here, children, jostle means push roughly. Okay, you can write in your book as well with your pencil. And then comes slight. Slight actually means small and thin. Okay. Now the scene is of the train platform. It is underground, and there is a huge rush at the platform. People are pushing each other to get away. There is a small thin girl. It is whose name is Evelyn. Evelyn is standing at the railway platform waiting for the train. And just as she feels the vibrations of the approaching train, she realizes that the train is about to come. She gets nervous and excited. This is the train that will take Evelyn to London. She is going to London to learn music, as she has got admission in the Royal Academy of Music. Now, right now, Evelyn is in Scotland. Okay. Evelyn belongs to Scotland. Actually, Scotland is a country in Europe. Life in Scotland is not as fast as in London. London has a very fast life. It is urban, whereas Scotland has farms and countrysides. So, That is why Evelyn is nervous because she is leaving Scotland for London. And she is excited also because she is doing something that she always dreamt of. She is going to the Royal Academy of Music to learn music. Was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from Scottish farm. Now, daunting means frightening or scary, okay? And teenager, as you know, the person who is in teen. Teens means. Now, Evelyn is 17 years of age. She is a teenager and she is fresh from a Scottish farm. As Evelyn is from Scotland, which has more of farms and countryside, so she has not seen fast life. That is why she is nervous, and a writer says that she is fresh from a Scottish farm. Now, let's come to the next line. But this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. Now, here you see aspiring musician. Aspiring musician means a person who wants to be a musician. And the next word, profoundly. Profoundly deaf means absolutely deaf. Okay. Now, Evelyn could not hear, and this was a bigger challenge for her. Moving from a rural area to a fast life was a smaller challenge. Evelyn faced a much bigger challenge, that was her inability to hear. Now, how Evelyn lost that hearing power? Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Gradual means in phases. Gradual, slowly, he lost her hearing power. She started losing the hearing power, and one day she was absolutely deaf. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8 years old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name and she didn't move. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, says Isabel Glennie. Isabel Glennie is the name of Evelyn's mother. Evelyn's mother, Isabel, recollects one incident when Evelyn was 8 years old. She says that Evelyn was waiting for her turn to play the piano. But when her name was called out, she did not respond. And her mother realized that Evelyn did not respond to her name. That means she did not hear her name being called out. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. Now, Evelyn started hiding this. Okay, conceal means to hide. As Evelyn lost her sense of hearing in phases, it was a gradual process. In the beginning, when she could hear partially, she managed to hide this disability from her friends as well as teachers. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated 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 and her so we will again come to this line. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated. Her headmistress urged her parents to take her to a specialist. Now, specialist, what a specialist means? A doctor specializing in a particular part of the body. And deteriorated, yeah, this word actually it means worsened or reduces. Okay. Urged. Urged means requested. So when Evelyn was 11 years old, her marks has started deteriorating. Deteriorating means reducing. Okay. The headmistress requested her parents to take Evelyn to the doctor. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. So, impaired. Impaired means weakened. When the doctor checked upon Evelyn, he found out that Evelyn had lost the sense of hearing. They were advised that she should be fitted with the hearing aid and sent to a school for the deaf. So, the doctor advised Evelyn's parents that they should get hearing aids for her. Hearing aids, as you know, children, what this is the equipment that is fitted into your ear, and it helps a person to hear to some extent. He also suggested that Evelyn should be sent to school for the deaf children. Now everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. When Evelyn discovered that she could not hear and that she would be sent to a school for deaf children, that she was not as good as normal children, her world became colorless. It turned black. Now, what does this mean? Everything suddenly looked black. It means that all of a sudden you get such bad news, you get some news that you don't expect. And in return, you see blackness all around you. That is how Evelyn responded to this news. But Evelyn was not going to give up. Now, this shows that Evelyn had determination. Although Evelyn got such a shocking news, still she was determined and she did not want to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. Now, what do you mean by pursue, children? Pursue means to follow. As Evelyn was passionate about what? Passionate about music. This news also did not break her. She was determined to live life like normal people and follow her interest in music. One day, she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Now, as you know, what do you mean by xylophone? You must have seen it is a musical instrument with a row of wooden bars of different length. Now, when Evelyn saw a girl playing the xylophone, she also wanted to play it. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. Now, what do you mean by percussionist, children? As I told you earlier also, a person who plays the drum, the tabla, and many more musical instruments, that person is known as percussionist. Potential, as you know, the quality or the ability that can be developed. Now, on one hand, Evelyn's teachers discouraged her because they knew that she could not hear, and hearing was an important part of music, isn't it? But there's one person, Ron Forbes, saw that Evelyn was very passionate about music, and so he decided something. Ron Forbes thought that he would teach Evelyn to feel music. As you know, children, that she can't hear it. So, his teacher, Ron Forbes, decided that he will help Evelyn to learn music by feeling it. Okay. He took two large drums and he tuned them to different notes. Drums are musical instruments, and he tuned tuned them. He tuned each drum to different notes. So the sound produced by the drum was different and distinct. Both the drums made different sounds. Then he told Evelyn, "Don't listen through your ears," he would say. "Try to sense it some other way." Okay, so he said that says Evelyn. "Suddenly I realized I could feel the higher drum from the west up and the lower one from the west down." That is, the middle part of your body is called the west. And now, as Ron had turned both the drums to different notes, the upper part of Evelyn's body above the waist could feel the higher notes of the drum, and the lower part of her body, the part down from the west, could feel the lower notes of drum. Now Forbes repeated the exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. This is how Evelyn can listen to sound. Although she cannot hear, she can sense different notes in different parts of body. I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. The rest was sheer determination and hard work. Now, Ron Forbes taught Evelyn to respond to different sounds. Different means through different parts of body. Evelyn's body responded to different sounds, and that is how she could identify the sounds and the different vibrations. Now, once she could identify the sounds and vibrations, the hurdle had been overcome, and Evelyn's career went upward. As she had determination to become famous, a good musician, and she also did a lot of hard work. She never looked back from the point onwards. Once Evelyn overcome the hurdle, she started sensing the different sounds through the different parts of her body, and she progressed in her career. She didn't look back. Okay. She toured the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. Orchestra means a group of musicians. Okay, so Evelyn toured the United Kingdom and performed with a youth orchestra. By the time Evelyn reached the age of 16 years, she had decided to make music her life. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. Auditioned means children gave a short performance so that the director could decide whether she was good enough. Now here Evelyn gave an audition. Evelyn gave a short performance for the admission to the Royal Academy of Music, and her score was the highest in the history of the Academy. No other person had scored such a high score as Evelyn did. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. Now, she slowly, orchestral work means group performance, means performing in a group of musicians. Now she is moving towards solo. Solo means to perform single or alone. So initially Evelyn performed in a group, and as she got well in her music, as she got means confident, she started performing alone. At the end of her 3-year course, she had captured most of the top awards. She had achieved all the top awards by the time she had completed her 3 years course at the Royal Academy of music. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. If anyone says that Evelyn has done something great, she does not acknowledge that she is very humble and down to earth. If you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there. Evelyn says that two important things for success are firstly hard work and secondly aim. She says that if you work hard and you have an aim, a target which you have to achieve, then you will definitely achieve it. And she got right to the top, the world's most sought after multi percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. Now, most shout after means most popular, in demand. Okay, so when Evelyn achieved her goal, she worked hard and she had an aim to become the topmost. She wanted to reach the top. Okay, the most famous, the most popular musician of the world, and she did that. She gained mastery of almost 1,000 musical instruments, and she is the most popular multi percussionist of the world. She has a very busy schedule. She has programs and concerts all over the world. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. Now, here the word intriguing. Intriguing means fascinating, okay, and curious. When you watch Evelyn work or perform so effortlessly, although she cannot hear, you get very curious because Evelyn can identify the slightest, the minutest sound made by the musical instrument. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. Now, the writer, Deborah Cowley, took Evelyn's interview. The writer means the one who has written this book, this story, Deborah Cowley. She took an interview of Evelyn which lasted for 2 hours. And Deborah says that Evelyn never missed a single word that she spoke. Men with bushy beard gave me trouble, she laughed. Evelyn says that those men who have long, huge, bushy beards give her trouble. Why do they give her trouble? Because when they speak, she cannot see their lip movements as their lips are covered with bushy beards. Okay, so she understand by reading her lips, reading their lips. Okay, it is not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes. Evelyn says that she does not only see the lip movement of the person's face to make out what the person is speaking. She sees the whole face. That means the entire expression of the face of the speaker makes Evelyn identify or know what the person is saying. She adds the expression of the eyes, helps Evelyn to make out what the person sitting in front of her is saying. Okay, so she not only sees the lips but also the facial expression and especially the eyes. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. Flawlessly means without a fault or mistake. Without a fault or Mistake. Here, lilt actually means a way of speaking, like we say accent. Okay, the way to pronounce the word. The writer says that Evelyn's speech is flawless and she has Scottish accent. As she belongs to Scotland, her voice has the Scottish accent. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says. Evelyn says that she can speak clearly because she had learned the language. As you remember, that she studied till the age of 11, till the time she could hear. But that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. But after becoming deaf, Evelyn also learned two new languages. She has learned French and basic Japanese also. So one wonders that how could she learn these two new languages also despite of her deafness. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. Now, tingles means causes a slight prickling or a stinging sensation. Okay. So, here Evelyn explains that how does she identify music? It creates sensation in her skin, in her cheekbones, and even in her hair. So, every part of Evelyn's body responds to music. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. When she plays the xylophone, she uses sticks and she can sense the vibration of the sound produced by the xylophone pass through the sticks up into her fingertips. By leaning against the drum, she can feel the resonance flowing into her body. Now, resonance means echoes of sounds. When Evelyn plays the drum, she leans towards the drum and she can feel the echo flowing into her body. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. Whenever Evelyn performs, she performs on a wooden platform. Why? Because she removes her shoes so that she can feel the vibration of the musical instrument pass through the floor into her feet and up her legs. That is how she can feel the sound of the musical instrument. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Now, as you know, Evelyn is a delight to hear. She gives very good solo performances. In the year 1991, she was presented with this award. What is that? Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award for performing solo. Says master percussionist James Blades, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. Now, James Blade is a master percussionist, and his words were the one that we read before we started reading the chapter. According to the James, God took away Evelyn's hearing ability, but in return, he gave her a strong power of sensing sounds, which enabled her to become a great musician. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. Workaholic means a person who finds it difficult to stop working. Okay, Evelyn is actually very hardworking. She does not stop working. I have just got to work, often harder than classical musicians. Now, to be at par with those people who can hear, who are classical musician, Evelyn works very hard. But the rewards are enormous. Enormous means big. Evelyn says that the rewards she gets for her hard work are huge and big. Apart from the regular concerts, apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. Now, Evelyn does charity also. She gives free concerts in hospitals as well as prisons. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. She also takes classes for young musicians, for those children who want to learn music. Anne Richlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. Now, Evelyn has become inspiration. Inspiration to whom? For all. She is an idol. She has become an ideal for Anne, as Anne Richlin says, that who belongs to the Anne Richlin, who belongs to the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children, says that Evelyn is an inspiration for those children who cannot hear. And when they get to know Evelyn's story, they feel that they can accomplish everything. They can fulfill all their dreams. Evelyn Glanny has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. Now, here, accomplished means to achieve, achieved. Okay. Evelyn has achieved so much in life that those people who are double her age have also not achieved those many things, that much popularity, and those many awards as Evelyn had done. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. Orchestra, as I told you children, orchestra is a group of people who are playing different musical instruments, and generally the percussion instruments like the drum and the xylophone are placed at the back end of the orchestra, or they are placed at the side. But the Evelyn performs solo. She gives special performances with these percussion instruments. The percussion instruments have come in front of the orchestra. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped, people who look to her and say, "If she can do it, I can." And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. Now, Evelyn's story is an inspiration to those people who are physically disabled, physically handicapped. They feel that if Evelyn can achieve her dreams, even they can also do it. And Evelyn has given a lots of pleasure to her audience by playing such good music. Now, this chapter is finished, children. I hope you all have understood this chapter. I must tell you that you should read the chapter twice, okay? And go through the summary which I have sent you earlier, as well as if there is any problem, you can go through this audio, um, through which I have explained the full chapter, and try to do the question answers also, children. I think if you have understood the chapter, you can do the question answers. You write the question answers in your literature notebook. Okay? Okay, children. Take care. Thank you.